This video will cover steps needed to complete the Module 2 application assignment for Public Health 6032 and 8032, SPSS Revealed. The video will cover how to enter data into an SPSS file, how to take a screenshot of data view, how to create the data dictionary, and how to export the data dictionary into a Word document. First, you will need to download the Module 2 application dataset document located in the Resources section of the classroom. This is a 2-page document with the first page covering data that will be entered into SPSS, and the second page detailing data dictionary or variable information. Okay, so we're going to get started by opening SPSS on our computers. I have version 24 downloaded, and this is the screen that pops up for me. If you have a different version, it might look slightly different. Nonetheless, we're going to get started by clicking on New Dataset here at the top and Open. SPSS is going to open a couple of different screens. The first one that comes up for me in the data editor is what's called Variable View. There's two different tabs here on the bottom left, and you'll see in the other tab, this is the data view, and that looks like a lot like an Excel spreadsheet where you have numbers down on the left side and columns where the variable names will be placed. Since we don't have any variable names yet, it's a good practice to start here in Variable View where you can list all the names and put in the characteristics of all the different variables. We're going to pull information about the variables from the second page of the assignment. That's where the data dictionary table is listed. And I'm going to demonstrate 3 variables today: ID number, sex, and BMI. And we're going to put in the label, the values, and the measurement level. Okay, back over in SPSS, we're going to be in Variable View. We're going to start by putting in the ID number in the first box here. I'm going to stick in ID underscore NUM. When I put in the name, it's going to populate a lot of default information. Some of this can remain the same, and some you can change if you desire. So the type is a numeric variable. The width is how many values long it can be. We're going to reduce our decimals down to 0 because we have full numbers in our data set, and it'll keep things clean. You need a label. That makes things easier when you make tables. The labels on the side are easier to read than this variable name, which can be kind of archaic. So we're going to put in unique ID number here. The values we do not need to identify for this variable. We have no missing values, so you can skip this. The columns and alignment have to do with formatting. That usually stays the same. Here's the measurement level. This is where we identify whether a variable is either quantitative, categorical, or ordinal. What I want you to note is that SPSS uses different terminology than the textbook. So categorical is the same as nominal. Ordinal is the same in both the textbook and SPSS. And quantitative is the same as scale. So ID number is a categorical or nominal variable, so that's the one we're going to highlight right now. Okay, the next variable we are going to enter is sex. We're going to let the default settings be the same except for the decimals. Give this a label. Let's go over here and look at the type of measure. Sex is another common categorical variable, so we're going to call that nominal in SPSS. What's different about sex is that we need to put in the values. And so when you click in this box here, you're going to see 3 little dots in a button. Click on that. On page 2 of the assignment, you'll see the values are identified in the data dictionary table, and you'll see that for the value of 0, we label that female. And so what you do is you click Add, and it should populate this box below. For the value of 1, we're going to label that male. When you click Add, and you have both of your value labels listed, then you can click OK, and that information will pop back up here into the variable view. The last variable we're going to enter is BMI. And same, we're going to reduce the decimals and give it a label of body mass index. This does not need values, but we do need to identify the measurement level, and it's different. And this is a classic quantitative or scale variable. So that's what we're going to identify there. Once you enter information for all 9 of the variables, then you can go over and click on Data View and see this information will populate the top row here and give information about all the variables in the columns. This is when you can go and enter in all of the data points from the first page of your assignment. So I'm going to do the first 3 data points, and I'm going to list 1, 2, and 3. We had female was the first participant and 2 males, and then we had BMI 25, 41, and 36. It'll take you a bit longer to fill in all 25 of the cases here, and then we can move on to the next step of the assignment. Once you get all the information populated into data view, you need to take a screenshot. So several ways to do that. On my computer, I use something called the snipping tool. You can go into the start menu and type in snipping tool. Open this up. It's a little tool that will take a partial picture of your screen. So I'm going to click on new. I'm going to cut off a square around the area where my data points are showing, and you can either save this or copy it over to a Word document. The next step is to create the data dictionary. This is a good task to perform every time you open a new data set, whether you make it yourself or you obtain it from a secondary source. It's a nice way to summarize information about all the variables in your data set. The way to do that is to click on File, roll down to Display Data File Information, and then over to the right and click on Working File. SPSS should automatically open up an output screen. If it doesn't do that, all you have to do is toggle over to the screen here that shows the data dictionary. You should also note there's a log, and the syntax up here tells us exactly what you've just performed. These are the 2 tables that you'll need to provide in the assignment. They include variable information and variable values. Okay, the last step you need to perform is to export this data dictionary to a Word document. The way to do that is staying in this output screen, click on File, scroll down to Export, and it'll open up a new screen. There's a lot of information about formatting of a page. It's important to note the type of document and make sure it says Word.doc, and then choose a file name and a location for this file to be saved. I'm going to call it Module 2, and I have it in a folder for the classroom. Then I click OK. It's going to kick me out to the folder where I find the document here. I can open that. And we see here, this is a Word version of the output screen. To finish off the assignment, make sure your Word document includes your name, the screenshot of the data view, and all of the tables from the data dictionary. That includes variable information and variable values. You notice that my variable information kicked out into 2 tables, and that's because the margins of my page are a bit smaller than they are in SPSS, and that's okay. Save this and upload to the classroom. If you have any questions, feel free to submit those to the discussion forum for Module 2, and the instructor and other students can help. Good luck.